Hey, it's Dr. Eric, and I want to welcome you to Feel Good University. This is a series of videos that we think are essential to you being able to thrive in your health, and that's what we want for all of our patients and practice members is to become someone who is limitless with their health. We see far too many people that are stuck with this diagnosis or stuck on this medication or stuck weighing more than they want to weigh. And we really want to show you how you can cooperate with the way your body was designed and really thrive, even though most people in our country are not. If you've been through the orientation talk that we do at the office, you'll see we are the sickest industrialized country in the world. We're 37th in the world in overall health. We have more heart disease, cancer, diabetes than any other country in the world. COVID hit us harder than any other country in the world because of all the comorbidities that we had and so many sick people that we had in our country. There's just so much wrong with the health in our country because we're looking at it from a very reactive standpoint rather than proactive. And for you to thrive, you need to come from a proactive standpoint. So what we're going to take you through today is what's called the five essentials. Okay. And the way we look at this is starting with the principle that we teach in our office is this. We need to start with the premise that your body is amazing. Your body needs no help to heal you or no help for you to be healthy. Because if you cut yourself shaving this morning, you put a piece of toilet paper on it, you took it off after, 30 minutes, what happened? The cut healed. Your body knows exactly how to do that. It knows exactly how to heal you. It's amazing. But if it can heal a cut on your face, why is it not healing you name it, fill in the blank, your headaches, your fibromyalgia, your allergy issues, your digestive problems? The reason is because something's interfering with your body's ability to heal. And the things that interfere are these five areas, or really a lack of these five areas. So the five essentials are: one is maximized mindset, is having the right mindset about your health. Number two, maximized nerve supply. Number three is maximized nutrients or nutrition. Number four is maximized movement. Your body was designed to move. And number five is minimized toxins. So we're going to take a deeper dive into that today. And then what you're going to get through, and the reason I put this picture up here is this is a patient who was, again, stuck with her diagnosis, stuck being overweight on about five different medications, now off of all of her medications, feeling great, lost 50 pounds, completely different person because of these five essentials and the program that we offer. So let's dive into that a little bit more. What you're going to get through Feel Good University is these videos. So you're going to get five essentials to thrive. That's what we're going to be doing right now. You're going to get the advanced nutrition plan, which will go in through a much deeper dive on nutrition and the plan that we give people. And what's has a 30-day meal plan, has all of your grocery list, your shopping guides, daily mindset tips, and this radically transforms people's lives when it comes to nutrition. There's so much information out there. There's too much information out there, and we want to make it simple for you. And the way this plan does it is boils it down into reducing inflammation. And if you have any of the five factors, we call it, this is the plan that you need for nutrition. So those five factors would be high blood pressure. It fixes that. If you have high blood sugar, diabetes, or prediabetes, we've seen people reverse their type 2 diabetes with this nutrition plan in as little as 14 days. That's number two. Number three is high cholesterol or triglycerides. So if you've been told you have high cholesterol, your triglycerides are out of control, this fixes that. Weight loss resistance, which is if you've had a hard time losing weight, you've tried a bunch of diets, you've lost 10 pounds, you've gained it back. That's usually a hormone problem, and this corrects the hormone problem. It's a hormone called leptin. And then the fifth is any type of autoimmune disorder. So that would be lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, any of those things. And psoriasis, even, we've seen this turn that around. So you're probably thinking right now, well, I know people that have those issues. Can I get them this video? Feel Good University is only for our patients, but if you direct them to the Axiom Answers page, we have an Axiom Answers YouTube page. I have a lot more of the smaller videos, and you can also bring them to our workshops that we do. We do 4 workshops in person every year that are blockbuster workshops. You can bring them to that. You can refer them to the clinic, but we do want you to share what you know with people, and you can do that through the Axiom Answers YouTube page. And then Detox Made Easy, we have a great video for you on that, which is how to use a practical tool called the Environmental Working Group. It's called, there's actually 2 different ones that we're going to give you that you'll see in the video. One of them is specifically for home, like personal use and personal care products. And another one is more for like skin. It's called Skin Deep. So like makeup, shampoo, and those things. And there's a great tool where you can actually search the things that you have in your house, like deodorant, like shampoo, like lotion, and find out if there's toxic ingredients, and then get a better solution for those, because toxins interfere with your body's ability to heal in a way that never has before in our country. And I'll go through that a little bit in this video. And then the next one is winning the challenge for life, which is how to take the advanced nutrition plan and make it stick for the rest of your life, and how you can actually modify that so you can stick with an eating plan that will make you healthy for the rest of your life. So that's what Feel Good University is. When you go through those, you will have graduated from Feel Good University, and you will have 10 steps or 10 legs up on everybody else around you that is struggling with their health and the traditional medical model. So first thing I want to start with is just, again, the mindset behind the 5 essentials, because how most Americans approach their health is a few things. Number one is the reason we're 37th in the world in overall health and have more chronic illness than any other country and sicker kids than ever in our country is because we disregard the natural order. We don't have any faith or any reverence for the way our bodies are made. And that's called a mechanistic worldview. We are a holistic or a vitalistic worldview, which means your body is amazing. You are not just pieces and parts. You are more than the sum of your parts. Your body's incredible. The fact that you're here right now is incredible. The fact that you're breathing is incredible. The fact that you can move your finger like this, the amount of things that need to happen for me to move my finger like this. I have to move 3 sodiums out and 2 potassiums into the cell every time I want to have this action potential to do that. I have to make ATP. It's crazy what needs to happen. You don't even think about that. We take it for granted. So we want to start having some reverence for the way your body was made. Number one, like Mother Nature knows best. Your body was made in an amazing way. If we cooperate with that, good things happen. If we don't cooperate, bad things happen, which is look around. We're not cooperating with the way we're supposed to eat. We're not cooperating with the way things we're supposed to put in our bodies, on our bodies, take care of our bodies, and we have more sickness and disease than ever. Number two, we're reactionary. We are a sick care model, which means people don't do anything about their health until they have some type of crisis. Then they go manage the crisis, and they go right back to what they were doing before, when they created the crisis in the first place. We want to be proactive, which means we want to be adding to your bank account of health every single day. We want to be putting deposits in your bank account every day, because health is not something that's in one place, that's stagnant. You're either getting healthier every day or you're getting sicker every day. So you need to make choices every day that are going to be cooperating with the way your body was designed to build health, rather than waiting to fight disease. It's an outside in quick fix philosophy, which is, I'm not going to do anything about my health. Just give me something quick to fix it. Give me a pill, potion, or lotion to fix it. Again, it's not the way your body was designed to work. And it's not like there's one model over here and there's one model over here. They're both equal. This model doesn't work. The model that I'm talking about, which is the outside in sick care, quick fix mentality, that's what has created the sickest industrialized country in the world. So there's no debating which one works. So you can't call me a tree hugger because I believe that your body's amazing, because it is. So if you don't believe that, and you believe you want more drugs and more surgery and more intervention, well, how is that working? Where has that gotten us? Now, I'm not anti-drug. I'm not anti-doctor. When I broke my arm, I wanted to go have surgery. If you're bleeding out of your eyeballs, go to the emergency room. But otherwise, that sick care mentality is not working for our health. We need to do something different when it comes to chronic disease and chronic illness, and actually chronic health. Insurance feeds the fire, because everybody wants everything to be covered by that piece of plastic. Unfortunately, the insurance and the pharmaceutical lobbies in this country do not have your best interest at heart. Insurance doesn't make money by paying for more of what you need. They make money by raising your premiums and deductibles and paying for less of what you need, and covering what? Drugs and surgery. If insurance cared about you, they would pay for your gym membership. They'd pay for your maintenance chiropractic care. They would pay for your supplements and all the things that make you healthy, but they don't pay for that. Like, they won't pay for a $20 bottle of vitamin D, but they'll pay for a $100 pharmaceutical that you get every single month. Now, why is that? Because they're making money off of that. It's called pharmacy benefit managers. They actually make money when you're buying those $100 pills. They're not making any money when you're buying $20 vitamin D. And then the last final destination is to alleviate symptoms. We want to do more than that. We don't want to just alleviate symptoms. We want to build health, right? We want to get to the cause if you have symptoms and start building that health. So you're going to have to be different than the people around you. So again, those 5 essentials: maximize mind. That really comes to your mindset of understanding that you're in control of your health. that your doctor's not in control of your health. I'm not in control of your health. Your body is amazing. You have an amazing ability to heal and be well, and you have a responsibility to take care of that body. That's the mindset. You can do anything you put your mind to, right? So we got to start taking control of our health and advocating for our health rather than waiting for someone in a white coat to do it for us. That's Max Mind. And then we also put into Max Mind, we're going to talk about stress management or peace management, and then also sleep. So more anxiety and depression than ever before, largely because of these other essentials not working the way they should. You'll see how poor nerve supply, poor nutrition can actually cause depression and anxiety, right? So we have solutions for that. But then also sleep is another big part of Max Mind, and I'll go through that a little bit in this video. If you're having trouble sleeping, we'll show you what to do about that. Number two, maximize nerve supply. You have to maximize nerve supply because that's what the most important part of your body is, your brain and your spinal cord. Again, that's not my theory. That is anatomy and physiology. If I cut your spinal cord in half, you die. If I cut the nerve that goes to your heart, you die. If I cut the nerve that goes to your colon, it stops working. So we want to make sure that nerve system is working at 100%. That's the missing link for so many people, which is why we start there with so many people. Number three, maximize nutrition. Doesn't have to be as hard as everyone thinks it is. What I'm going to talk about is a great intervention for anyone with the 5 factors that I discussed earlier, and how you can make good choices. We teach you how to do food label reading. We teach you, that's which one of the most important things to learn is how to read food labels. That's in the next couple of videos, and then how to put the right foods in your house that it doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg. My daughter and I went to the store the other day, and we bought some produce. We're buying limes and pears and some other things. And she's 19 and she's on her own out in college, so she's buying her own food. And she's like, you know what? I realized produce is really cheap. What's expensive is all that crap in the middle of the store, the Doritos and all the other stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly right. So it doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg. Maximize movement. So I'm gonna teach you in this video the best way to move your body in less time. Most people don't work out because they don't have enough time. That's their limiter, and we're gonna show you how to fix that. And then minimizing toxins. We have an incredible toxic burden right now, in our, just because of all the toxins that are in not only your food, but in all your personal care products as well. So I'm going to give you examples of what to do about that in this video as well. Okay. So number one with Maximize Mind is having the mindset that you have to have a big enough why. You have to want to be healthy more than you want that donut. Okay. And this is Jim Rohn, one of the best motivational speakers ever. Love this guy. And, one of his famous quotes is, if you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. If you really want something, you'll find a way to get it. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. You're either going to find a way or a solution, or you're going to find an excuse. And I hear excuses all the time. And honestly, it's my job as your health coach to call you out if you're making those excuses. And I'm going to do that because I love you, because we make excuses all the time. It's too hard. It takes too much time. It's too expensive. And the thing I'll tell you about those, and the reason I call those excuses, is because every medical disaster I've ever heard, every medical disaster story I've ever heard started with, I didn't have time. Yeah, I was too busy. It was too expensive. I had a patient recently and unfortunately lost his wife, and she was always too busy to eat well. She was always too busy to cook food that was good for her. She was too busy to get in and get adjusted. It was too expensive to go to the store to buy this. And unfortunately, and when we look back on it now, we would say, hey, the family would have given anything to have another 50 years with her. So all of those things, those excuses that we make, that doesn't get you where you want to go. So you got to start tapping into what you really want. So what I want you to start thinking of is your big why. What is your big why? Story I always share is, I've had patients who say, well, I want to lose 20 pounds. Well, that's not a big enough why, because you'll get 2 days later, see a donut, eat the donut. Well, I look this way. I've always looked this way. I might as well keep looking this way. That's not a big enough fuel to push you through, passing up that donut or, Oreo or whatever it is. You have to have a bigger why than that. So I have a patient who struggled with her weight off and on and off and on and off and on. And then she had a granddaughter, right? So her daughter had a daughter, and she all of a sudden started living for that granddaughter. And she said, you know what? I'm not going to be here. My granddaughter is going to bury me early if I keep going down this path, because she was very overweight. Her blood work was terrible. She was a walking heart attack, and she could never change her diet for her. But you know what? She completely changed her lifestyle for her granddaughter. So it's got to be about something bigger than you. For me, with mine has changed in my life, but where I'm at right now is, I want to be able to live the second half of my life well, especially like with my wife and my kids. Like I feel like I've worked really hard. I've set us up well. Like, we have opportunities financially. We have all kinds of things and freedom. I don't want to waste that on being sick. I don't want to waste those years on being sick. I want to be able to enjoy the vacations. I want to be able to enjoy my kids' weddings. I want to be able to enjoy my wife and I traveling. Like that's the things I want to be able to enjoy. That's my big why. Because I love Dr. Pepper donuts and Doritos like everybody else. But the reason I don't eat that all the time is because that's not going to get me where I want to go. I have that end in mind. So think about what your big why is, because it needs to be strong enough to get you to the gym if it's cold outside. Like I went to the gym this morning. It was 22 degrees. I'm recording this in December. It was 22 degrees. There was snow all over the ground. It was miserable. It would have been easy to stay inside and stay in bed, but that's not going to get me where I want to be in my future. Okay. So if you really want to do something, you'll find a way. Otherwise, you'll find an excuse. So pay attention to your excuses. We got to start knocking those down. And then another one. This is Dalai Lama. I love this quote. Says, "Man sacrifices his health in order to make money." Right. So we work our butts off to make money, and then he sacrifices his money to recuperate his health. And unfortunately, that's a proverb. We see so many people that are miserable later on in life because they spent all of their good years making money, and then what do? They give all of their money back later in doctor bills and hospital bills and nursing homes, which are $100,000 a year out of your pocket, giving all of that money back rather than investing in your health over time. So it's having the mindset, invest in your health every single day. Now, the other part that we talked about here, this is important, is once you have your mindset right and you discover your big why, the next part is like, let's make sure you're getting enough sleep. Well, how much is enough? 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night is ideal. The average American is just getting 5.5 hours, which is not nearly enough, which is directly contributing to all cause mortality, which means you're more likely to die of everything under the sun. You're more likely to be depressed. You're more likely to be anxious. You're more likely to have heart disease, all of these things from lack of sleep. You're more likely to get Alzheimer's disease because of lack of sleep. So if you're not getting 7 to 8 hours a night, we need to address that. If you are getting 7 to 8 hours and you sleep great, go to the next slide. If you're not, or if you know somebody in your family who's not, here are my sleep hacks or my best bets here. Number one, Insomnitol. This is a supplement that we have in the office. It's a phenomenal supplement because it's not just melatonin or something like that. Melatonin gets misused all the time. Your body needs more than melatonin to sleep. It needs melatonin, yes, but it also needs to make GABA. Okay. And GABA is what turns your brain off at night. So if you're having a hard time going to sleep and your brain's running, that's because of the lack of GABA in your brain. This has a precursor for GABA called L-theanine. Also needs serotonin, and there's a precursor in here for serotonin, which is called 5-HTP. So your body's able to use all of those things to create the chemical soup that you need to actually fall asleep and stay asleep. This is a chewable. Keep it right next to your bed. Take a couple of these right before you go to bed. It's an amazing sleep aid, and it's not a drug. It doesn't make you tired. You're not drowsy. It's not like taking a Benadryl. There's no side effects because it's natural. So that's number one. Number two, binaural beats. So this is another sleep hack. If you get on your phone, you can go just look on your app store and just look up binaural beats, and you'll see apps that do this for free. So they have little meditations or little 20-minute videos or 2-hour videos or 8-hour videos where you will actually listen to it. You need to put headphones on or AirPods or earbuds, and it plays a different frequency in each ear. Now, sometimes there's rain on top of it, or ocean, or any of those soundscapes. But behind in the background, there's different frequencies, and what those frequencies do is they train your brain waves to go from beta and gamma, which are high frequency brain waves. And what happens here? What do you see in beta and gamma? You see focused attention, awake, heightened perception, peak awareness. That's great if you're at work. That's great if you're playing a sport. That's great if you're doing something that requires focus and attention. But if you get stuck there at night, that's where you lay down and your brain won't turn off. So it just goes, and you can't turn it off. Well, this is a hack because if you just put the binaural beats in, you don't have to think about much else. It basically trains your brainwaves. It starts walking them down towards alpha, theta, and delta waves. Well, what's alpha and theta and delta waves? Deep sleep, right? Loss of body awareness, healing. So you want to start moving down towards delta where you're sleeping. And that's what the binaural beats does. It lowers those brain waves down to this delta. So if I wake up in the middle of the night and my brain's going crazy, I can't fall asleep, I'll just, get on YouTube, do binaural beats, put that in, I'd still go on, my brain's still going for 5, 10 minutes, but then eventually 10, 15 minutes later, boom, I'm out again. So easy and cheap. When I first bought I bought a CD, if you're old enough to remember those. I bought a CD that had binaural beats. This is probably back in 2006, 2007, and it cost me $1,500 for that CD. That's how badly I wanted to be able to sleep. Well, now you can get it for free on YouTube or on your phone. And then the last one here, Tricor pillow. People ask me about the best pillow. This is the one that I love. Coreproducts.com is the website. I don't get any money for it. But this is a pillow that's great if you sleep on your back. It provides support for your neck. And if you sleep on your side, you're not cocked over like this, because a lot of those orthopedic pillows, there's no side support. There's just a valley in the middle. So you're cocked over like this if you're on your side. So if I'm on my back, I use the neck support. If I'm on my side, I use this part of the pillow, and I love this thing. Really helps with the curve in your neck as well. Which brings me to the next essential. So that was essential number one. Realize that what is your big why? Realize that you're worth it, that you have the capacity to heal and be well, and you're responsible for your health. Let's make sure you're sleeping well, and then move on to essential number two. Taking care of your nervous system. Your nervous system is the most important thing in your body. Your brain and your spinal cord control everything in your body. If you don't have that functioning at 100%, you don't have anything functioning at 100%. And we call this the safety pin cycle. So a lot of people understand that your brain sends messages out to the body. A lot of people don't understand that your body sends messages back to your brain. So I'm going to give you an example of, we'll take acid reflux. So if your brain, say this is your brain and this is your body, say this is the stomach. Your brain's going to send messages to the stomach saying, hey, is there enough stomach acid down here? And then your body's going to say, nope, we actually need a little more stomach acid. That's going to go back to the brain. The brain's going to say, okay, I'm sending more stomach acid. Is that enough? And your body's going to say, yep, that's actually enough stomach acid. You could turn it off. And the brain turns off the stomach acid. That's the way it's designed to work. When you have food in your stomach, you need stomach acid. But what happens with when it's not connected, when there's something blocking, when there's something irritating or compressing that nerve and it's not getting the message back to the brain is going, hey, is that stomach acid enough? And the body's not sending a message back. So the brain's going, well, I guess you need more stomach acid. So it keeps the stomach acid pump going. Well, what's that called? That's called acid reflux. That's called heartburn. It's too much stomach acid because your brain didn't get the message to turn the acid off. So when we reconnect it, when you correct a subluxation in your spine or reconnect that connection, then guess what happens? Your brain is back at ease, right? So this acid reflux is not a disease, it's dis-ease. It's a lack of ease. It's a lack of connection between the brain and the body. That's why the nervous system is so important. And we focus a lot, text neck in our office. We see this a ton. This was actually my neck not too long ago. I had started doing a lot more computer work, writing things, recording webinars more. I had an injury. And then I had lost a lot of the curve in my neck. So the curve in my neck went from like 38 degrees, which is close to where it should be, to 24. I got really straight. And then I started doing some of the rehab that we give you now. So the Brugger's position and some of the other exercises that increased the curve in my neck 10 degrees in a matter of a month, doing the specific exercises that we give you, but I had to do them every day. I was religious about doing it, especially the Brugger's position, every single day. That's why that's so important, because this is what's controlling that, what I just talked about, which is the safety pin cycle. This is connecting my brain to my body. I want to keep that message open. I want to keep that communication center open. And because we all spend way too much time on computers, this is also why I will get adjusted for the rest of my life, because I still will be on a computer for the rest of my life. We were not designed to sit on computers and do all the things that we do to our spine, which is why I still get adjusted a couple of times a month, and I will for the rest of my life. And so will my family, because that's the most important part of my body, is taking care of that. Again, it's an investment in my health. Okay. Nutrition. Again, I'm going to do an entire video on the advanced plan coming up here. And again, those 5 factors. How do you know if you need the advanced plan? High blood pressure, high cholesterol, high blood sugar, diabetes or pre-diabetes, A1C being high, weight loss resistance, if you want to lose 10 to 50 pounds or 100 pounds. And then your other one is going to be autoimmune disorders. So the first thing that we're going to focus on is getting rid of sugar. It doesn't mean get rid of sweet. Okay. So that's a big misconception. You don't have to get rid of sweet. You have to get rid of processed sugar. There's so many ways to get sweet in your body and in your diet and in the foods that you eat that don't have a negative blood sugar effect. Sugar is a drug. It's inflammatory. It causes more disease than any other single molecule on this planet. White sugar is responsible for more chronic disease than anything else. I just saw a stat the other day that by the time a kid in the United States turns 8, they've had more sugar than they would in their entire life 75 years ago. That's how much sugar that we eat. It's absolutely insane. So 1950 to now, we get more sugar by the age of 8 than we got in 1950, our entire lives. That's insane. Sugar is making us sick. Sugar is linked to inflammation. Sugar is linked to diabetes. Sugar is linked to heart disease. Sugar feeds cancer. It's one of the main causes of cancer. So we got to get rid of this processed sugar. It's a drug. The Food and Drug Administration knows it. The food companies know it. They're in bed with the government. That's why they still allow this crap in our diet. You just got to know that they're not looking out for you. So the average American consumes 160 grams or pounds of sugar per year. You should get no more than 30 grams per day, and the average American is getting something like 120 to 150 grams of sugar per day. So these are things that I'm going to give you in the next video, also in the Winning the Challenge for Life. But I love sweet, I love chocolate, and I still eat that stuff a lot, but I don't eat sugar. So instead of, like, when I made my wife coffee this morning, I used monk fruit extract, which is all natural sweetener. This is from Lakanto, so it's an all natural sweetener, has no blood sugar effects. So everything I said about sugar that was bad does not apply to monk fruit. It doesn't spike your blood sugar, doesn't cause inflammation, doesn't feed cancer, doesn't do any of those things. So that's one of our go-tos. Smart Sweets, again, 2 grams of sugar. If this was gummy bears, you would be getting 18 to 20 grams of sugar. This is only 2 grams of sugar because it's sweetened with monk fruit. Lily's chocolate. Again, I love chocolate. This is like a Rice Krispies treat. 0 sugar added. It's sweetened with stevia and monk fruit. This one, again, dark chocolate caramels from Lily's, sweetened with stevia or monk fruit. Less than 1 gram of sugar. And I eat these almost every single day as a snack. And they're still healthy for me. So you don't have to get rid of sweet. We just got to need to start changing the things that you're putting in things like your coffee or whatever you're making. And we show you how to do that in the advanced plan video. So this is given an example of how much sugar is in, different things that you're looking at. So I think this is M&Ms right here. So on M&Ms, total sugar, 17 grams of sugar, which is half of what you should get in an entire day. And that's just literally in one serving. Most people get 2 or 3 servings of M&Ms when they eat them, versus the Lily's chocolate, the caramels I just showed you, total sugar is less than 1 gram. And I think this tastes better. And it doesn't have any of the artificial sweetener or artificial colors or any other stuff that's really problematic that you'll learn about on food label reading. So as I'm bringing all this up, you're probably thinking, oh, I got a question about this. What about this? What about that? That's what the other 2 nutrition videos are for. The advanced plan and Winning the Challenge for Life. I answer a lot of those. So if you want to start on the nutrition, watch those videos right now. Start with that 30-day challenge, and then you have the Winning the Challenge for follow-up. And then also things you can ask us in the office. We're always here to help you with these things as well. I do want to spend a couple minutes on exercise. Not a ton of time, because there's a lot of places where you can get your exercise done, right? And we work with like Orange Theory Fitness. There's a lot of gyms that are great. But what I want to talk about is how you can move your body quickly if you don't have time to go do an hour workout or group class or whatever. There's a smart way or hack that we use for exercise, and it's called surge training. Okay. So what we want to talk about here is what makes you go. So your body can use one of 2 things for energy primarily. It usually it uses sugar or glucose, or it uses fat. So you can train it to burn sugar, or you can train it to burn fat. Now, which one would you rather train it to burn? What do you think? Fat, right? Because most of us have extra fat that we would like to have burned. You want your body to be a fat burner. The problem is the way most people eat and the way that most people exercise is we've trained our body to use sugar for fuel because we eat too much sugar and we exercise the wrong way. So you understand what I mean by exercise the wrong way in a second. So let me go back to this. So you're either a sugar burner or a fat burner. It depends on, again, how much sugar you eat, but also your exercise type. So when you exercise, when you go to the gym, when you exercise the way most people do, which would be, I go get on the treadmill, I'm in my fat burning zone. That's a myth that people have told you. You have to be in your fat burning zone for at least 20 minutes. You don't want to be in your fat burning zone, because what your body does is whatever fuel you use during exercise, your body's going to use the opposite fuel source for the next 36 hours to replenish something called glycogen in your body. So if you're burning fat when you exercise, for the next 36 hours, you're going to be burning sugar to replenish the glycogen. We don't want that. You don't want to be in your fat burning zone while you exercise. It doesn't really matter what you do during exercise. If you burn 30 minutes of extra fat while you're exercise, but then 36 hours you're burning sugar, you didn't do much. What we want to do is we want to burn sugar while you exercise, because what's your body going to burn for the next 36 hours after? It's going to burn fat. That's the brilliance behind surge training. And or have you heard of high intensity interval training, HIIT? That's the brilliance behind that. You want to increase the intensity of the exercise while you're exercising, because then the higher your heart rate goes, you're actually burning sugar. Okay. You're burning sugar during that time. And then what are you going to be burning for the next 36 hours? You're going to burn the opposite fuel source, which is what? Fat. That's what you want. You want to burn fat while you're going to sleep that night. You want to burn fat the next day. And in order to do that, you want to burn sugar during exercise. So this is surge training. High intensity, short duration exercise. We call this the new aerobics. So intermittent burst of energy. You want to safely shock your body into responding physiologically, like we just talked about. We want it to burn fat later. So after a maximum output or injury, the body, output of surge, the body must respond by altering the hormones and physiology by burning fat and building muscle after the exercise. Now, the key to this is you have to have your heart rate high enough during exercise, which means not just getting on the treadmill and kind of slowly going on. You want to go to where it's hard for you to talk. Now, obviously, if you have a heart problem or something like that, got to have the disclaimer, consult your doctor and make sure you're healthy enough for exercise. But if you're also out of shape, you don't have to exercise that hard to kind of get out of breath. Getting out of breath is a good thing for vast majority of people. So what you do is you want to go high intensity and then rest, and then high intensity and then rest, and high intensity and then rest. So what that should look like when you know you're in your fat or your heart rate zone of burning sugar, which you want to be during exercise, is should kind of look like that. Like if somebody asked you, "What are you doing for lunch?" You'd say, "I think I'm going to go to Chipotle." That's what it should look like. Okay. It shouldn't look like, "Well, I don't know. I think I'm going to Chipotle. How about you?" So again, this is specifically for weight loss, and best cardiovascular shape you can be in is you want to bump that up safely, which is what they do at Orange Theory Fitness, so which they do in a lot of the group classes at the gyms that you go to. You're getting that heart rate higher. Now, it doesn't mean you're at max heart rate. It doesn't mean you have to go blackout. It just means you have to get about to that same conversational pace I was just at. So what you do in a surge plan is you want to do 20 seconds on, so heart rate up to the training zone. So getting that heart rate up to where you're breathing hard, and you want to get 20 seconds on. So I did this at the gym today. I got on the treadmill, I kicked it up to 25 on the which is the highest resistance it could go. I'm in pretty decent shape, and I went as hard as I could go for 20 seconds. By the time I was done, I went back down to level one on the intensity on the machine, and I just did that for 20 seconds and brought my heart rate down. Right. And then what did I do? 20 seconds, I kicked it back up in intensity and went harder to get my heart rate up, and then slowly to get my heart rate down. I did that one more time. That's one surge, 20 seconds on, 20 off, 20 seconds on, 20 off, 20 seconds on, 2 minutes off. Okay. 2 minutes to where you're just going slow to bring your heart rate. And then you repeat that twice. So you do a total of 3 surge cycles, 20 on, 20 off, 20 on, 20 off, 20 on, 2 minutes off. That's one cycle. And you repeat that twice. Now, if you do that, that takes about 12 minutes. And that's really all it takes. Now, if you want to go do weights after that, you can. I recommend it. But if you don't have time to do that, here's what you can do is just that surge cycle. When I travel a lot, I'll go to the gym and I'll do that on the treadmill. But if I don't have a gym or people down there, a lot of times I'll just go in the stairwell and I'll do stairs. So I'll go up and down I'll just run up and down on a step for 20 seconds, up, down, on one step for 20 seconds as hard as I can go. And then I'll just rest for 20 seconds back on that step. You can run up the flight of steps if you want to, but I just go up and down, one step. That gets my heart rate up, and I do 3 sets of surge on that. That's my exercise for the day. I'm going to be burning fat for the next 36 hours after that. And we recommend you do this 3 to 4 times a week. Doesn't take much time. We're talking that takes 12 minutes 3 times a week. That's 36 minutes of exercise and reaping huge benefits. Now, if you like to ride your bike, I used to be a cyclist. If you want to ride your bike for an hour or two, a few times a week, that's completely fine too. You can do that. But if you're looking for something that's quick and efficient, this is the way to do it. By the way, when I used to ride my bike, I used to race bikes. My coach added in a lot of interval work. I would do 2 hours on the bike, an hour to warm up, 30 minutes of intervals, and then an hour or half an hour to cool down. So I still did intervals in there. But so if you like to go for a walk around the block, you can do the same thing. Walk fast for 20 seconds and then walk slow for 20 seconds. Walk fast for 20 seconds. Walk slow for 20 seconds. That's the surge plan. Okay. And then last thing we'll wrap up here on this video is this principle of toxicity. We look at this like a bucket. So when you add things into your diet, I'm sorry, into your body that are toxic. Now, what is a toxin? Toxin is anything that produces free radicals in your body, and your body has to detox. Now, how does it detox? It uses your liver and your kidneys primarily. So many of us have what's called fatty liver disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, because of all the toxins, including sugar and the things that we eat in our bodies. So what happens is through, like, let's say you eat food that has toxins in it, and then you have like a dust issue. Maybe there's mold exposure in your house. Maybe you're allergic to pollens. There's a pollen exposure. Those things build up. Now, some people, you eat, your diet could be so bad that food fills it up 75%. It doesn't take much to get it to where it spills over. So when you're actually spilling over, that's the symptoms. Okay. Sneezing, wheezing, itching, like allergy type symptoms. And by the way, we have a whole allergy testing or allergy testing protocol that we do in our office. If you have seasonal allergies, you can get rid of those. If you have ragweed, dander, pet dander, any of those things, you can get rid of those through immunotherapy. So talk to us about that. But what we want to do is stop putting the toxins in. Okay. So we want to reduce the toxins that are going into your body. So I'm just going to give a quick example of deodorant because almost everybody uses deodorant. This is Old Spice deodorant over here. This is a deodorant and antiperspirant. Now, the problem with this is it's got several things that you can't pronounce. Okay. One of those, this fragrance right here, anytime it says fragrance, that has something called phthalates. Phthalates is what makes room freshener or like Febreze smell a certain way. The problem is they're horribly toxic. They are endocrine disruptors. They're reducing testosterone in men. They're causing estrogen dominance and all kinds of hormone problems in women. And it's been 100% proven. All right. So phthalates. So if it just says regular fragrance, that's phthalates. And again, we have a whole video on this coming up for you as well. But then the other thing is that this has aluminum in it. Aluminum has been linked to breast cancer in women. Aluminum is not something you want to put in your body. We know this because we stopped using aluminum cookware because of Alzheimer's. Well, do you really want to be putting aluminum directly into your skin? Of course not. It's a heavy metal. It's terrible for you. But that's what keeps you from sweating. By the way, keeping your body from sweating is a bad idea. That's one of the main ways your body detoxes is through sweat. So it's not a good idea to keep your body from sweating. So what I use, there's two different ones that I use. There's one called Crystal Essence, which is again no aluminum, right? Paraben free, which is the phthalates that we talked about. And so you're actually going to get pomegranate like essential oil. That's what makes it smell a certain way, and that keeps you from smelling. It doesn't keep you from sweating. It keeps you from smelling. Again, over here, bergamot and lime. This keeps you from sweating a little bit naturally because it absorbs a little bit of that wetness. It's got cornstarch in it. So again, no aluminum, no propylene glycol, no artificial fragrance or phthalates like we talked about. This has bergamot and lime. That's where the fragrance comes from, is lime essential oils and bergamot essential oils. And this stuff works great. Now, all natural deodorants aren't created equal. Some of them don't work at all. I've used them in the past and I smell worse. But these are great ones right here. You can get these at Target. You can get these at grocery stores. You can get these almost anywhere now. 20 years ago, I used to make my own deodorant. You don't have to do that anymore. This gets much easier. So that's why we give you the database, ewg.com or .org. If you want to skip and watch the video on Detox Made Easy, you can do that now. And Dr. Ashley actually teaches you how to read the labels on here, how to search up proper or better alternatives. And I do a lot of workshops on this as well. But I want you to start thinking about that. So what you can do is just go, when you watch that video on toxicity, go get 2 or 3 things from your bathroom. Get deodorant, maybe get shampoo, maybe get mouthwash or toothpaste, and then watch that video and you can go and search it and say, okay, well, wow, I didn't know this had PEG6 in it. I didn't know this had propylene glycol in it. I didn't know it had those things in it. And you'll learn what those are because it tells you the risks that go with it. And then it'll say, instead of using that, use this instead. And it's great because it's nonprofit. They're not selling you anything. And they do a really good job of decreasing toxicity. So that's the whole idea behind the 5 essentials. So, we'll just go back and end it on the 5 essentials slide that I have here at the beginning. Maximize mind. Again, you can do anything you set your mind to. If you have a big enough why, you can bear anyhow. Take care of your nervous system, right? Do your rehab at home, make your adjustments, get that curve corrected that needs to get corrected. Maximize nutrition, avoiding sugar, getting rid of sugar. You're going to be in processed food. You're going to be in much better hands. We give you a whole diet on how to do that called the Advanced Nutrition Plan. And then maximize movement. We talked about surge training, minimizing toxins, getting as many of the toxins out of your body as you can. Then your body needs no help to heal. It just needs no interference. You're interfering so much less. You're removing the interference of poor sleep. You're removing the interference of a poor spine. You're removing the interference of poor nutrition. You get my idea. Then you're giving your body a chance to do what it was designed to do in the first place. So that's why we call this Feel Good University, because if you do those things, you will feel great and you will thrive. So let me know what you think about these next videos coming up here. See us in the office. If you have any questions, let us know. We have a lot more resources on this, but you are on your way to feeling great and looking great just by watching those videos.